Yeah.
Trump's tariffs once again send the altcoins down the hill, writhing in pain. But all the while, the massive institutions, the big holders, they're buying up Bitcoin. They're trying to short ETH on God mode. And everyone's distracted with foosball. But I come to you with some information that I came across over the weekend and into this morning that is absolutely shocking. I'm very excited about the show.
Indeed.
Just sit back and get ready, folks, because there's been a lot of talk about when quantitative easing is going to start. What's it going to look like? I have found, I believe, what might be the smoking gun for my biggest bag, Chainlink, but also a breath of fresh air to all these ISO narrative tokens, all of this utility realm within cryptocurrency. We're wondering, when the hell is it going to be used? Well, I'm here to bring you that facts. Welcome all to the blockchain basement. We got my man Isaac up on the sticks.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Monday dwellers. We're getting ready to drop some bombs on your head.
Yeah, it's been I've been a little bit hot and heavy this morning. I found this information over the weekend and then solidified it this morning. Also, over the weekend, I did attempt to watch the football game.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I passed out. And I didn't even I don't have TV, so I was trying to figure out like which channel to even watch it on. I ended up like on some NFL like tic-tac-toe thing with just the people moving around. So I fell asleep. I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up and my children were plucking the white hairs out of my chin. Look at that. Do you see how much younger I look now?
Exactly. You're like 20 now.
It was incredible. I woke up, they're like over me with some tweezers just plucking at me, but instead I took care of the chickens, the land. We do have a lot of rain coming in here in Georgia, so I had to make sure that the roof was going to keep their food dry, that doesn't rot out their food, and just take care of the chickens. If you have chickens or livestock, take care of your animals, folks. Welcome to the Blockchain Basement. Welcome also to OG Status Hike King. Thank you for joining the channel. OG Boban, Green Day Prophets, Jeremiah Dixon, Caffeinated Crypto, Nick Dunn, Cali Crypto Dude, Kyle Watts, Patrick Carey, Stevie Crypto, Shaka Nwana Bob, Crypto Shock, Papa Gooth, Kyle, you already got one, Justin Valen, and Dot Gun. Holy cow. I'm getting quicker and quicker at that.
Exactly.
Eventually, I'm not going to be able to keep up, though. But make sure you're following me. Keep up with me on Twitter, @Druth Crypto. Getting near 6,000 followers.
Very, very, very close, good sir. Congrats.
Yeah. I had a lot of people, even the Mario team was like, they were all going live over all these meme coins popping up over and over again. At a point, it just gets exhausting. Like, you had DeBaby launch a coin, that rugged. You had, all the rage was it Jail Stool? That also looks like it's rugging actively. We have David Portnoy's latest words on that. And apparently Central African Republic launched a meme coin. So we got a lot to dig into today. Make sure you're following us on our YouTube account. We are at 71,800 subbies.
A little fun fact. We are literally a single subscriber off 71.9.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Okay. Shout out. We're moving quick. And look, we got a new, our third biggest short. Oh, God, you already posted that one.
Yeah, I already posted that other one. You just go check that latest short out because that one was hot and heavy.
Here, let me zoom out a little bit so I can see. This short, it must be our fourth biggest short. Indeed. Over the weekend. Talking about the feds. Yeah, right there. U.S. Treasury's David LeBrick resigns. Just under 100,000 views so far. This is so fun. And really, like, the overall vibe that I think is pretty incredible is with everything going on with the Department of Government Efficiency and this transparency coming to how they've been stealing our money and giving it to, everyone but us, it feels like. I really feel like this is an administrative revolution that we're seeing happen under Elon Musk and Trump's guys here. I think they should start rocking these outfits.
I think so too.
Bring it back. They look good. We should probably get some of these things too.
Dude, we should wear it one day for Independence Day, July 4th.
100%.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now let's get into the markets. Bitcoin, we got to cover it real quick. Here's Bitcoin dominance looking vile as ever. Something that I could see happening is maybe just a little round off. This is kind of the ultra peak up here at 64% and then start rounding back down. But this market is different than previous markets. This is a different design to altcoin season. And really what I'm also going to do in this show is focus on the altcoins that have strong value. And my approach with all the noise and all the basically thin liquidity. I mean, you have meme coins popping up all over the place. They run to 100 million, they rug, people get wrecked, and then that money just goes into a few hands. I really feel like now's the time to lock in on projects that have actual intrinsic value and use case. I think it's going to be very, very important to find my success for this altcoin season in particular. Last altcoin season, you basically could throw a dart at a map on the different altcoins because there wasn't that much competition in this range. Now we have a different activity happening for Bitcoin dominance as well from the ETFs, institutional adoption, all that stuff. This is different. This is tangibly different. So don't be surprised on the Bitcoin dominance if we see it kind of round off, hit that 64%, potentially even more pain for altcoins over the next month or two, and then start to find our way back down. Let's check where Bitcoin's at. I think we're just arriving here in purgatory land. Yeah, we're not even above the fib right now, just sitting here. Basically, it looks like at the POC, essentially. So nothing too exciting on Bitcoin's price. That's why I got to dive in on how we can change our life with altcoins and all the victories we're having on the administrative side here. So without further ado, we did watch as crowds at the football fan stadium booed Taylor Swift. Look at her face. Let's watch this. She's shocked. She can't believe they'd be booing her. Look at her. That's the look of I fucked up, right?
Indeed.
And she thinks that, well, I heard a nuanced take that like, oh, they just don't like Taylor Swift. They don't like her endorsement of Joe Biden, I'd imagine there's a large amount of that. I guarantee you she went home and blamed it on Travis Kelce, her little boo thing.
Indeed.
It's because you lost. That's why they all booed me. It's clearly your fault, Taylor. It's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Isn't that a song of hers?
You are banned!
Oh, man. I got banned from
Bad. Bad. No, you don't do that.
Oh, man.
But
That's a banging
that's
song.
one of her songs.
It is, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. Taylor Swift should probably just stay out of a stadium, though. That'd probably be for her best interest there. Now, what are the over under that Travis Kelce went home and clapped some bones last night with Taylor?
Bones.
You think you got some?
It was pretty high chance. You can't get away from getting the poon slayed.
Yeah. It didn't look too good. But maybe sympathy sex?
Maybe.
Well, potentially.
I'm sorry I lost, but here's my cock.
Here's Tesla giving Bitcoin some sympathy sex. Reports are increasing that Tesla is increased its Bitcoin holdings to 11,500 Bitcoin. This just broke right before we went live. Great. We also saw Michael Saylor top blasting as well in his continuous fashion. Not surprised by this. This is the institutions causing us immense pain while they stack their bags. And here's Peter St. Onge giving the highlight on what's going on with these jobs numbers. I had an argument with an economic expert, right, that said that I was completely wrong about the revisions and there's nothing big here. Joe Biden's final job report is out and it's a doozy. 589,000 jobs revision. 589,000 jobs revised into oblivion. 70% of the jobs created were in the government sector, and 99.2% of the jobs were going to foreign-born workers. This is the mess that they're handing Donald Trump. Absolutely crazy statistics that Donald Trump and his cohort, Elon Musk, are going to be dealing with into 2025. Now, we also have this, a sign of victory already showing its little head here. Elon Musk said that the Department of Education no longer exists.
That's so good.
That is insane. Did you see the guy they had like one security guard out there? Man, we got to look at this guy because he had to stand into the realm with a bunch of Democrats were swarming. Democrat senators and Congress people were swarming this guy. Look at this poor guy. This is Maxine Walters. Imagine having to fight her with words.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let him see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Showed you the ID. I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
So I think this guy probably drowned from all the beer America bought him for standing in front of the door of the Department of Education. Apparently it no longer exists, though, according to Elon Musk. So
great.
Good stuff. That's good stuff. Now, Elon Musk's next target to audit the Pentagon. We all remember what happened the last time the Pentagon was audited real hard, right? So Elon Musk showed this just short video highlighting the debauchery going on with the Pentagon's spending problem.
Yeah.
And he says, guess I better maximize my security. Well, you're darn right, Elon. We do remember Donald Rumsfeld came out and admitted they were missing trillions of dollars on September 10th of 2001. And then the rest is history.
Boom.
And obviously the history has been washed away by the war, the 25-year war that we went into. But here is a Doge remembering what happened the last time we audited the Pentagon. Right there.
Boom.
Yeah. So Elon better keep that security very, very high. He is going into the deep end here. And as he goes into the deep end, the Democrats are losing their minds. This is a Tennessee preacher, Steve Cottle, just calling for what he wants here in America. Let's have a listen. Oh, what? Is it muted?
Yep.
Hold on. Let me unmute it. I think it must be muted right here. Let's see here. How's it muted?
I don't know.
How did that happen? Oh no, you guys got to hear this. I didn't.
And if you do want to hear this part of it, that's on our shorts page.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Listen, here we go. I got it to work. Here we go.
And in this nation, I'm worried that we are on the verge of bloodshed. This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go, and we will not go. So therefore, there will be conflict. I pray that the peace of God will win out and overcome the madness that is attempting to take over this nation. And I will say to you, beloved, no one likes violence, but sometimes violence is necessary. When Elon Musk forces his way into the United States Treasury and threatens to steal your personal information and your Social Security check, there is the possibility of violence.
Man, he's getting hot and heavy with it.
Indeed.
You know, people that have this big of a problem with government transparency are probably in on it. That's just me shooting from the hip. But all things done in the dark will come to light, my good sir. Now, this from Kobayashi Letter. Both Elon Musk and Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong have now proposed putting all U.S. spending on the blockchain. This means that $6.9 trillion of U.S. spending per year would be placed on a decentralized ledger. Well, this is going to be absolutely crazy. And the big conversation here is that, the private sector in Elon's mind is more effective at building out decentralized systems. The government sector is great at regulation. The private sector better at innovation, in Elon's words. So that's the question in terms of our bags. One of these projects has a tangible chance of being chosen for this kind of task.
Yeah.
Imagine the pump that comes from that. You know what I mean? A lot of people are highlighting maybe it's Doge, the meme coin. I think that he would probably not want to do that just for like conflict of interest stuff. Though it'd be hilarious.
That would be pretty funny.
Fitting of the name, right? The department's name Doge, but he might have to go with something. I mean, like, what was it? Constellation DAG, Cardano, potentially even like a Solana because David Sachs loves it. A lot of questions come to my mind. There's a lot of opportunity here for decentralized information systems, and the transfer of value that we have right now on crypto could tangibly be used to track the government spending. It's a very, very great time to be alive in crypto. Now, David Sachs came out. He knew that the U.S. government ran a $2 trillion deficit every year. We're in almost $40 trillion, and every time someone tries to cut something in Washington, the whole city screams bloody murder. The real question is why. Let's have a listen to David Sachs on this subject and listen to what he's got to say.
The U.S. government runs a $2 trillion deficit every year. We're in debt almost $40 trillion. And we also knew that anytime anyone tries to cut anything in Washington, the whole city screams bloody murder. Okay, so the question is just why? Well, now we know. The money is all going to them. It's like round tripping to them. New York Times, getting paid. Politico, getting paid. Bill Kristol, perennial warmonger, getting paid. Ukraine, getting paid. Like 11 out of 12 publications, Ukraine, getting paid.
Incredible.
Viktor Orban, who's the prime minister of Hungary, was saying that he's very popular in Hungary. His political opposition, funded by USAID. In Poland, the left-wing political opposition funded by USAID, and on and on and on it goes.
BBC, you wonder why everyone in the UK, so yeah.
Like
I couldn't believe the BBC's getting paid.
So this is the wide scope of media coverage of why we see they're so angry about this is because they're all receiving the funding. Like this has been like this financial centipede created between the United States corporation into these large media organizations controlling the narrative. Now that we've pulled the veil away, we can see that they're using our own money to psyop us into the narratives they wish us to fall into. Even my wife was like, I can't believe how upset I am right now about this. I saw a bunch of posts from, other mothers that are like, generally calm people. They're realizing that their own money has been, taken from them.
Yeah.
And been used against them for decades now. This is something that I really, really am happy to see waking up people across the country. I don't feel so, one against all type situation when it comes to bringing these things up. Because before, people just wanted to stay asleep. There is no staying asleep about the situation. I did go to the gun range this weekend. I went there with Kelly Kellum, BitLab Academy. We ran into Marjorie Taylor Greene. And it must have been her boyfriend. I think she just got divorced. So it must have been her boyfriend she was with. But she was super based. We talked about the importance of the work that she's doing out there. I only had a few minutes with her because she was going in and out of the gun range. I didn't want to keep her, held up. But super, super cool based woman. And she's very, very excited about how much work is actually getting done at the administrative level. This is an administrative revolution that we see unfolding before our eyes. And she represents me in my district. I think she's doing a great job. And I think more and more of our elected leaders need to have the gusto to talk against the grain and to say the uncomfortable things while this system psyops us asleep. So now here's where, all right. So I want to start before I go too deep into this, there's been some rumors floating. Marty Party, I love his work for the most part. Right. He came out with this weekend. I think it was Friday. He said, breaking, U.S. Fed puts their 2025 monetary policy report out. Juicy, they announced that they are ending quantitative tightening in June after a $2 trillion reduction, lowering the balance sheet to below $6.4 trillion and selling securities holdings down $300 billion since June of 2024. Here's the link to the publication. And I went through a lot of different, I went through the portions myself. But also I went to Benjamin Cowan to see what he thought about this whole situation because he was looking for where it said that quantitative tightening will stop and quantitative easing will begin, right? Because that's what other ones like, we need quantitative easing to have an altcoin season, which I disagree with. You just need to invest in good products, I think, to have an altcoin season. But here's what I think is going on. Benjamin Cowan, a lot of people are posting this report and saying that QT is ending in June of this year. It's very possible that it does end, but he cannot find one sentence in the entire report that says this explicitly. What is he missing? And here is what he was looking at. The closest thing this is also the closest thing I could find to quantitative easing even being talked about or quantitative tightening ending is to ensure a smooth transition. The FOMC slowed the pace of decline of its securities holdings in June 24 and intends to stop reductions in its holdings when the reserve balances are somewhat above the level that the FOMC judges can be consistent with ample reserves. Okay. So really kind of a nothing burger. They're saying we want it balanced out. We want it to land here, but this is the juice. This is why you come to the basement for the real information here. So it all starts in this conversation, particularly with the banking collapse of Silicon Valley in California on, I think it was March 14th or around March 11th. Here is the feds suing SVB leaders for the gross negligence over this massive collapse, the SVB collapse. The bank at the time, when it had a financial distress, made $300 million dividend payments to its parent company, SVB Financial Group, and they're being under investigation for essentially moving funds out. They knew things were broken. They're trying to get out of the way of their own doing, and this has ended up causing 17 former leaders of SVB to be sued, alleging gross negligence. Okay, so what happened is we had SVB and a few other banks go underwater, right? And they had to be absorbed by larger banking institutions and be backstopped by the federal government in that transition. So what happened was they released this thing called the Bank Term Funding Program. It is not your traditional quantitative easing program. This is a bank funding program for emergency use only. This was instituted on March 11th of 2023. What we saw last year was that bank term funding program ended on March 11th of 2024. Okay, so the bailout was still ongoing. The loans were out, but they shut it down because guess what? Of course, the banks abused the ability to take emergency funds out of the feds. Okay, so they overextended themselves. They took funds that they didn't necessarily need, and they took these loans to cover commercial real estate locations for the large portion that at the time had a much higher valuation than they do in our current day and age. That presents a problem. When you take an emergency loan to based on the asset at a higher valuation, say it was worth $100 million in 2022, the banks in the emergency fund program let you take out an emergency loan just acting like that same asset was still worth $100 million, when in fact, they on average fell to $50, $60 million. Those are those San Francisco locations, those New York locations we've been showing that were selling for pennies on the dollar. There's been some big losses in that sector. So back to this, BTFP ended last year in 2024 on March 11th, okay? Now we go into this. Commercial real estate is headed towards a crisis. This was posted in July 2024, but this highlights that there's a reckoning coming. Over the next 2 years, $1 trillion in commercial real estate loans will come due. Wow, that's a chunk of change.
Jeez.
But guess what? It gets worse. There's actually about $2.6 trillion in total. This is accounting for the commercial real estate portion in particular. So now, let's keep rolling. Through the process, last week we covered this. The repo facility plummeted. QE and money printing was thought to be the obvious choice here, right? QE and money printing will start aggressively when this drains to zero, according to Quinton. We cover this as well. But there is more to this scenario, folks. This is the overall unrealized gains. They're coming back up, but they still have a lot of work to do to get to flatline zero. And this is where the timing of when these loans are due. Here's the kicker, folks. These loans are due back on March 10th of this year. They're due back in just about a month. It's February 10th right now. So I'm giving you this information a month before it happens. The $1 trillion worth of commercial real estate loans taken in an emergency fashion from these banks to stay afloat, those are due back in 1 month from now. So I was like, okay, this is a lot of information. Great. And obviously, the larger scheme of things, this is probably why Warren Buffett is sitting on an immense amount of cash, is because he's waiting for these valuations to keep crumbling downwards so he can buy these locations on pennies on the dollar. But I went to the Federal Reserve system of something I remembered. The Federal Fedwire Fund Service, and this is the ISO 20022. This is the thing where all the utility coins tried to brand themselves in this realm. It's a messaging standard, okay? So a utility coin is still a utility coin, and it can be used for swaps back and forth and stuff like that. But there's something very, very important happening. March 10th, the same day that those loans are all due back to the Fed for that emergency program, they're going live with the ISO messaging format. This brings me to some very, very deep thinking. Now, who is going to be the big winners in this? You go over to the FedNow instant payment section. You go to the Showcase Theater. And this is where, this is actually pretty red meat for XRP people.
Yeah.
But at large, I think, XRP is going to do well. The smaller market caps is where I generally look at for bigger upside. And this is where it gets really, really fun. So now we go sort by Z to A, because there's one company in particular, Volante, that I want to look at here. This extends the traditional cross-border payment system through SWIFT. Okay, next generation cross-border payments, and they're using the technology of Ripple, Visa Direct, Visa Business to Business, MasterCard Send, and others. Okay, but you have to have a login and operate through SWIFT's payment system to get access to this new FedWire system that they're rolling out the same day that those $1 trillion of loans are due back.
Yeah.
There's a big shift happening. And if you ask me, that's a little bit too big of a coincidence to just be by chance.
Yeah.
So now when I look at this is why I went all in on Chainlink, is because they had solidified their partnership with SWIFT. SWIFT in cooperation. And this is why we saw Ripple team up with Chainlink. This is why we see Ondo teaming up for Chainlink. This is why we see Swift teamed up with Chainlink, is because what is about to happen in a month from now is going to go live. And, sure, speculation could do some things, but this is where I get so solidified in my choices of what I invest in by seeing these pieces of financial infrastructure be real and have a timeline of their expected live days. Now, the CCIP fees going live from Swift actually happen at the end of 2025. So we won't even see the actual fee payments, that portion of if they did 1% of Swift transactions on CCIP. That'd bring the action up to $375 a unit just in and of itself. But really, what we see right now is people are going out and they're getting rugged and losing all their liquidity on these fly-by-the-night meme coins when we could just be investing in products of value. Okay, and that takes a lot of worry out of me at night when I see these dips up and down. Yes, the crypto market's crazy, but this is because we're building out the most disruptive technology that finance has really ever seen. Other than changing out from salt to, precious metals to transact value, now we're doing it digitally. And this Fed wire service is to provide instantaneous backstop to banks across the country and really across the world. And this is where I have so much fun with crypto, because if there wasn't anything broken or wrong with the financial system in and of itself to begin with, there'd be nothing to fix. There'd be no hardcore use case to see cryptocurrency take over the future of finance. It's right in front of us, in front of our eyes. Don't be distracted by all these damn meme coins going up and down. I mean, they're fun, but please make sure that you're looking at a project that has intrinsic value if you're leaning into it for this bull market. Because as I showed with this Bitcoin dominance graph, we can see Bitcoin is going to hold on higher for longer for a little bit of time here. And it's important to not get shaken out because you got rugged by David Portnoy's jail stool thing or DaBaby's meme coin. There's so much garbage going on out there. Investing in products of value is where it's at. And I've said it over and over again. XRP and Ripple, they're like immovable objects at this point. What we're going to see is ISO of the last cycle are going to just rebrand into real world assets. And at large, this is where I have more fun looking down the list. Chainlink's at number 11. Market cap is currently at $11.9 billion. This is a much more movable market cap than if I'm sitting here playing around in the top 10. I think there's much better upside if I'm just looking. Even Hedera. Hedera is probably going to go batshit crazy off of this information once everyone else on crypto Twitter starts bull posting about what I just told you a month from now. You will see these tokens, these old school dinosaur ISO tokens really start to flourish. And it's going to drive a lot of people crazy, but it is what it is. I just gave you the reasons why. Now let's move on. Could we be seeing the end of the Fed? Trump instructs the U.S. Treasury to stop minting new pennies. In his words, it's far too long. The United States has minted pennies which literally cost us more than 2 cents a unit. This is so wasteful. He's instructed the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, to stop producing these new pennies. Let's rip the waste out of our great nation's budget, even if it's a penny at a time. Man, oh man.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes sense. Like, yes, a penny costs around 2.3 cents per penny to create. So why the hell are we even making them? You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
It just doesn't make any sense. And as you can see, with this Fed wire, this entire digital infrastructure that the Federal Reserve is building, it's right in front of our eyes. They're going digital with it. It's about if the CBDC is required to be utilized and if it has any privacy within it. And it's kind of a cool website. If you guys want to go find this for yourself, it's explore.fednow.org. where you can go here and then you can basically just go. They have like this little digital city, but all the latest news, the showcase theater for all the different technologies that they're plugging in to this new financial transit system. But there might be some headwinds ahead for the Federal Reserve in and of itself. We have Balaji. Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. End the Fed by Ron Paul. And there's a lot of calls from Ron Paul, but also some hints from Elon Musk. We might be seeing a move to investigate the usefulness of the Federal Reserve and or a rehauling of it. Because the difficulty with the Federal Reserve as it sits right now is you cannot really audit it. You can essentially shut it down from a congressional standpoint, or you can let it continue operating. That's the difficulty. There is no internal oversight. So with this being said, I would like to see the Fed shaken up and kept on their toes, behave a little bit better. Don't print us all into poverty just because you like causing us pain. And bring some financial fiduciary responsibility back to the United States and the republic for which it stands. So I did cover the Bitcoin dominance weekly chart. It looks pretty terrifying. This is Matthew Highland highlighting that again. I'm going to be rolling into the altcoin sector now. So I just want to give everyone a kind of a bellwether on what to expect for Bitcoin dominance, because that plays heavily into when altcoin season. It has completed its highest local candle close and largest wick since December of the 2020 cycle top. Absolutely crazy. 5 years difference here. This does have a pretty similar formation, though. I mean, you have the original pump here, a higher wick, which ended up being red. Then you hop on down here to the low right there. And then you chunk back up for one last stab into the night sky for Bitcoin dominance. Boy, howdy, it'd be nice to see this thing roll over to the downside here soon, though.
Yeah, no, please.
Yeah, Bitcoin just sitting here writhing and toiling up in the, and at large, it is very healthy for our bull market in general to see Bitcoin essentially range between $90,000 to $100,000, because this gives us a lot more time to stack good projects within the top 100, within the top 200, while everyone's sitting there terrified and thinking that there's going to be no bull market, or rather altcoin season. The Bitcoin bull market is undeniable. We know where the world is going with it.
Yeah.
I also may have to start using CoinGecko more often, Isaac.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because Bubble Maps is integrating directly onto CoinGecko. That's a move.
Nice. That is pretty nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So now they're going to go live on 10,000 coin pages. I may have to start swapping over to that just to do quick checks on tokens and things of that nature. But usually when I'm having to go into Bubble Maps, it's because someone's bought a meme coin that rugs the next week after. Yeah. And they're looking for some hopium or copium on the distribution of it. Usually if it's a new meme coin, it's going to rug. That's just, I will say it that way. So getting in, getting out, taking profits, that's one thing. Staying in there and hoping that da baby or jail stool is going to be the next big thing. That's where we get screwed up. So also, this was hilarious. Trump released the 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum over the weekend. I think this was on Friday. Mm-hmm. This guy, Ray J, is Ethereum made of aluminum? And aluminum just getting its head beat in off of the news. Now, really, the Ethereum beatdown, it's undeniable. We had the Ethereum average gas price drop to 4 cents. You cross-checked this morning, too, right?
I cross-checked it because I really need to cut some losses on some projects.
Yeah.
So I was having some fun getting out some projects. I actually moved all those into Morpho. So.
Oh, good fucking choice.
Yeah.
Right
I went through like Morpho, and what was it? Alien-based token, and I went on like DeFi Llama.
Okay.
I did all my, I did the moon math. I did all the TVL versus token price, all that stuff. So, and then
good man.
Yeah, Morpho was my top.
You're taking the tools and you're running with them. That's what I aim to do here. Now on Morpho, I didn't have a plan to highlight it, but that is one of them that I feel has a very strong intrinsic value just because it's Coinbase's preferred spot for people to take loans out against their Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to remain rock solid. I mean, it's going to be very volatile, but over the next 5 years, we're going to see governments hammering into it. Its max pain is probably up only on Bitcoin, but people are going to go take their loans out in USDC with that Bitcoin and help kind of further the altcoin sector here. But I really think that Morpho is a fantastic pick. What price did you get it at, Isaac?
I think it was the bottom of $2 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like on a pump, but it wasn't like, it's kind of like
asleep.
in the middle. Yeah.
This is the perfect time to strike when it's asleep. Ethereum gas is at rock bottom prices.
Yeah.
So you're not paying a bunch for swaps and everything because everyone's given up. This is the time where legends are made. And this is why I have so much fun hosting shows when things are like this, is because everyone thinks it's done for. You can build your bag. It doesn't cost a damn anything to do an Ethereum transaction right now.
Yeah.
Morpho at large, they call this a crash. This is a crash for ants. I mean, you're getting it at a great little spike point here. It released at $1.90. And sure, it could definitely go play around at these ranges again. If Bitcoin dominance continues to chunk up and hit that 64 level, don't be surprised by that. This is the time to strike where everyone else has given up. This is the time where legends are made. Great buy. Now we go over to this. Ethereum short positions from hedge funds and Wall Street money movers are the largest they've ever been in history. absolutely crazy. A massive amount of short positions have hammered in on Ethereum. And I do think that we're kind of fooling ourselves if we want to say Ethereum is dead. It's not going to go anywhere. A lot of normies, they look at crypto.com or, Coinbase, they pull up the app, they see Bitcoin's $100,000, but this one right behind it, that's only at $3,000.
Yeah. And
not to mention the massive amount of RWAs, and really the utility behind crypto is still being built out on Ethereum. And expect the base ecosystem. Ethereum has many, many things that are going to continue to hoist it up. At large, though, my top for Ethereum is in between $6,000 to $8,000. Originally was feeling like $12,000 was obtainable, but then I saw how much of the base DeFi has taken over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I kind of have to adjust and be realistic about those expectations. But Ethereum's going to be around.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that way. But, seeing this short, largest short ever against Ethereum, this is going to end up being a short squeeze. This is going to end up, these shorters are going to get trapped trying to short Ethereum on God mode, and then they're going to get wrecked. Let me plug in this computer real quick. Hold on.
Sounds good.
Here we go. Got to give my computer more juice here.
Well, while you do that,
What's that? Oh, you banned someone? What happened?
Yeah, he said XRP is going to $10,000, so you get banned.
Well, okay. So on the subject, like I just showed, like XR people, there's a lot of validation in the federal swap system that I just laid out for everyone. So they're going to take this information. They might even clip me and then put that as the title. We need to just do this real quick for context of that, because again, there is no denying that Ripple's cooked in. The feds are using it. But there's no huge reason for the banks or the feds to hold XRP, the token. Plus, 80% of it's controlled by Ripple. That's kind of how they've kept afloat through these whole law litigations and everything like that.
Yeah.
But in order to hit, we're going to be at about 76 billion tokens circulating. So to hit $10,000 a unit, oh my God. What is this? So that's 10 trillion. Let's do 110. Oh my God.
Let's
okay.
do like 210.
Yeah. Well, let's do 510. Oh God. Okay.
XRP would have to be the crypto market.
This is $800 trillion.
Oh, I know. It would this would. I don't even know, man. That's not possible.
$800 trillion is what XRP would need to hit in terms of market cap to be worth $10,000 a unit. Just for context, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that are new to crypto. They're going to see the information that I just laid out, like the feds are using Ripple. Just because the feds are using Ripple also does not mean that they're using XRP. But the speculation behind the feds using Ripple is going to help XRP price more. So we got to stay based about what our expectations of this asset are. And really when I'm looking at it, I think it's probably got the juice to hit around 394, about 520, in the 589 meme, that could come real. It has to be essentially number 5, number 6, maybe number 4 in terms of market cap.
Yeah.
At the peak of whenever the hell this Bitcoin dominance gives up and starts, because it will. But it's going to play feisty. It's a struggle snuggle right now between Bitcoin dominance and alt season. And XRP would have to hit a $450 billion market cap to accomplish about $5.89. But I haven't written that off as a possibility. I could probably see that happening. And at XRP's price, maybe I can complain about it less. No, I can still complain about it. So it's at 244. So if my top end expectation is around $6, I feel like I can find better upside with things further down the list. Just saying that. I had to clarify that. Now, Central African Republic launched a meme coin. President of the country in Africa deploys a token car. 35% of the tokens are locked for the country development, and the full GDP of the country is $2.6 billion. Real market cap at $30 million. The trenches, they're saying the trenches are going to fix what the years of U.S. and UN African aid couldn't. I mean, most of that money squandered, so there is some validity to that. But even though this is a nation state meme, I still think it's going to rug. I will go look at this damn token, though. I have to go see it. Where's Costco hot dog at as well? It always pre-populates. I went to Costco this weekend.
Yeah.
I could buy a pretty cheap vehicle for the cost of one trip to Costco. How scary is that?
That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. So, because when I was a kid, my first car was like $600. Same with my wife's.
Yeah.
Go to the grocery store. Boom. There it is. Could have had a vehicle. I could have had a vehicle. I could have like exploded at the gun range or something like.
With tons and tons of tannerite.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something we need to do. That's something we need to do. Now, let's go look at Central African Republic token. That'd be so sad if it rugged over the weekend. Okay, so it's up by 63,000%. Oh my God, though. So it did not fix world hunger.
CTO.
CTO.
CTO for world hunger.
Oh, CTO for world hunger. Oh my God. You can't have nice things in the trenches.
No, you can't.
You just cannot have nice things in the trenches. This is an example of this. It went up to just under $1 billion over the weekend. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, you have to get in. You're a loser if you don't hold this. This is a nation state. It's up only. Wrong. It is not up only. But, interesting play by the Central African Republic to launch a token to help community development. But, Solana snipes, they're there to get theirs. And speaking of Solana snipes, David Portnoy launched Jailstool. Let's see what Jailstool did. This is another one. People were like, oh, you got to buy it, Drew. Come on. Come top blast with me, Drew.
Buy it all. Buy the top.
Yeah, this is the same shit. Look, but I mean, it is trying to not die at about 20 million market cap, 28 million market cap. Got $2.4 million in locked liquidity. There are 85,000 holders of this hot pile of garbage. But Mr. Portnoy himself came out with a statement regarding the market crash this morning.
Liquidity with Jailstool. Let people, you're so dumb. You fucking crypto fucking guys. So small, so short-sighted. Let me get real liquidity from outside your crypto world. You think people know how to use a Phantom wallet and how to use Moonshot and all this shit? They don't. I have 100,000 people holding my token and I'm bringing people in. Who's going to play this game if you guys are sniping them the second it goes up a little bit? Let the thing roll, you fucking moron.
He is so unhinged right now.
But what does he fucking expect? He launched a meme coin.
It is called Jailstool, right?
Exactly.
Oh my God. So Portnoy's finding out he hopped into the deep end of the trenches with the Solana Mev bots, the Jeets, all of them, and he's going through it. So shout out to you, Mister. Yeah, we're talking about square bodies.
Yeah,
Chevy square bodies. Dude, hold on. This is a truck I built up. My dad gave it to me. It didn't really. I had some work to be done on it.
Jeez, the spelling was.
Let's
terrible.
see here. 71 Chevy, and it was a C10 labeled, but it was actually a K10. It was, I believe, the first year they came out with the 4-wheel drive version.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is the one. But the one that I had, it was Bronco helmet, orange and blue. Absolute dirty bird. But it got like 5 miles to the gallon. A good correction. Crypto Tim. David Portnoy did not launch that token. I think it was just kind of a community takeover he tried to do on it. But he keeps adding money into the liquidity pool.
Like that's still pretty stupid.
He's in deep. I do miss this truck at times, but very happy to not be paying for the amount of gas that it took to drive this thing around.
Especially now.
Yeah, it was very nice to work on. Very good. A small block 350. But at this point, like I drive like an hour and a half one way to work. There is no way in hell that a lot of the dudes where I live out there in the sticks, they love them. I get it. But I am starting to fall back in love with the minivan.
Mm-hmm.
I am. Okay. It holds all my goods. It's a very nice ride. It's comfortable. So now we're talking about, instead of going and burning money on these fly by the night meme coins, we're talking about finding projects with strong fundamentals and long-term value, right? Aerodrome still is on that list. And I've been buying more Aerodrome at these levels. And here's why. 49% of the Aero supply is locked for 3.8 years. Nearly half of the tokens are locked for this entire cycle. Base Network's largest DEX is not playing around. This AIXBT highlighting this data. And it's also, Aerodrome's controlling 70.9% of the base DEX total value locked. $1 billion or more locked and counting. It is absolutely controlling the base DeFi narrative right now. Aerodrome, things are a little sleepy. You've seen a massive volume fall off since the kind of hangover of Trump's election is kicked in. volume's very, very low right now.
Yeah.
And you see a bunch of capitulation posts on Twitter. There is no altcoin season. It's not happening. We're too spread out. Sure, you could be too spread out on projects that have no TVL anymore and the party's over. That's why looking at things like DeFi Llama and how much money is actually locked onto the protocol and how much lending is actually happening is going to be a very, very important tool to use over the next few months. There's going to be a lot of people shilling the next big thing to you, and you have to do your own research and dig into each different project that you think about adding to your portfolio to make sure that it actually has some intrinsic value. We also covered that 100% of the protocol revenue is distributed to V-Arrow voters each week. 30% of that is used to buy back and then lock even more tokens. It's got a great flywheel of market kind of token stability built into Aerodrome.
Yeah.
But also Base and Coinbase have basically captured Ethereum. They have the dead body of what was Ethereum floating around weekend at Bernie's. They got the strings on it. You can go in and out of Base for pennies on the dollar. Yes, right now is a good time to maybe, if you're looking at standard Ethereum projects, to roll into other things that might have a better upside. A great time to do so because gas is extremely low right now. The 351 Cleveland for sure had one of those old school Mustangs. God, the old school Mustangs were
really good.
Oh my God. Lie. Okay, hold on. We're doing 19. I think it was a 61. Yeah, dude. Hold on. Because I grew up, I didn't do great in high school. Okay. So what they did is they put me in a automotive class and we built GTO. We had a Plymouth, it was the Roadrunner, the Plymouth Roadrunner. Have you ever seen a Plymouth Roadrunner?
I have not.
All right, we're going to look at that after this. This is the Mustang Mach 1 1961. Just a thing of absolute beauty.
So beautiful.
And this is something like, if I'm thinking in terms of classic cars, that would be the one. Also, the Plymouth Roadrunner. This is a great one. And kind of a surprising car. Like, you wouldn't expect it. This is basically looks pretty much exactly like the one we had in our auto class, because our automotive teacher, here's this guy's like 7'2" or something like that, and he only fit in these gigantic old school muscle cars.
Yeah.
Plymouth Roadrunner was a fantastic project car, but then we kind of graduated. I started doing the 3000 GT VR4, and we did a 300ZX, the twin turbo 300ZX in 1991. Just chef's kiss until my buddy wrapped it around a tree. Okay.
Fair.
70s Nova. Oh my God. Absolutely.
You know, the Firebirds by
yeah.
Those were pretty fire too.
I saw a new Firebird. It doesn't look like anything, but it sounded absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the old Firebirds are where it's at. The new ones are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that ain't no school like the old school. Really. And when it comes to buying like new cars, I can't even bring myself to being interested in the new Toyotas. They ruined the world's finest, outside of the small block Chevy 350 engine, the 5.7, I think it was, Toyota V8. I think it was bulletproof, I felt like. And they just went and screwed everything up. Shout out for the super chat, Nova, the 70s Nova. Oh, he's got the Nova _SS. He's probably rocking that one. Thank you for the support on the channel, bro. And also, if you want other ways to support us, we are getting ready to roll out some awesome trading competitions on BTCC. You get some bonuses going in, and it's a non-KYC, but we are getting ready to roll out some freaking awesome trading competitions with BTCC. Make sure to click the link down in the description, get signed up before we get those trading competitions rolling. Super excited about the team. They're absolutely awesome. They support the basement in an awesome, tangible way, and I just really appreciate them. And also, as we go through the ups and downs of this market and the unsurety of it, something that helps is putting your crypto in cold storage. So if you don't already have your crypto in cold storage, make sure to take advantage of our code BASE10. Get 10% off an Arculus cold storage device today and keep your assets safe, guys, because the better that the altcoin sector gets, and as things really start to kick over in 25, the more scammers you're going to see out there coming and trying to steal your crypto. And also, I saw Doocy gave pretty specific directions on how to add things like Arrow, other kind of coins to your cold storage wallet in our Discord. So if you're not already, click the link in our description for our Discord. It's a great community. You get good mornings always. And you know what?
Before we get merged to the Telegram too. Before we get merged to that Telegram too, you might want to,
dude,
4 days.
Oh my God, the Telegram merge is happening. That's where we're going to combine like me, Josh, DZ, Kelly, all into one place for all of our kind of a consensus on the markets. Because it's basically you get access to me, Kelly, TJ, DZ. We get together in the morning. We kind of talk about just the overall vibe of the crypto sector, what we feel like on how price action is going to be. I think we nail it probably about like 80% of the time.
Very true.
On where price and like sentiment is. And in our OG chat, I do believe I had one question here that I wanted to talk about. So this is Chip Shot. I'm stupid, focused, and convicted, but this shit is getting crazy. Talking about the altcoin holdings he has. Does altcoin season ever start? Would love to hear your thoughts on how you think things may play out from here. I want to just highlight this. I see your guys' messages. I take that message very, very seriously because a lot of us are heavily overexposed to altcoins. And at large, I'm not going to be surprised for more writhing in pain on the Bitcoin dominance compared to alt season. Would not be surprised to see this dominance hit about, again, the 64%. Leave room for more pain, leave room for more buying opportunities. But at large, when all is said and done, I do think that we're going to see that roll over and essentially come to about the 40% mark. I think that we're going to see a very quick, strong move once it finally does happen. And it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. There's a lot of people calling this the top. This is the worst time. And this is Tech Dev highlighting it. This is the worst part. This is the part where people becoming popular on Twitter by saying, what if no alt season? And essentially he's highlighting the yellow zone right here. This price is the Bitcoin price, and below it is the dominance level. Okay. So right now we're going a little bit longer than normal, but essentially the second halving market, he's highlighting the velocity of this downswing really didn't happen until 2.25 years. The secondary one, the one that most people are comparing this season to, is the 2-year-long moment until Bitcoin dominance really started falling off a cliff and alts had a great time. This is all highlighted in the yellow portions here. Where we are is 2.2 years into this. That's why I'm leaving a little bit room, maybe 2.25, maybe 2.3 years until the dominance starts to roll over once again. But I do think the time will come. And with that, we're highlighted basically in that exact same time frame. So it's a very, very important time to lock into the projects that actually have value. There is a degree of dilution that's happened through all these meme coins, people going into Solana, getting wrecked. And really what I highlighted on the time frame for that ISO narrative to kick into play, and essentially the time frame for Paul Atkins to be in place at the SEC as the chief of the SEC, this all does kind of aim towards the beginning of March. So with that being said, I'm taking this time frame very seriously. I thought that about 4 months ago, I was like, all right, if it goes exactly as planned, you'd have dominance fall off a cliff in Christmas, and then basically I'm done buying altcoins. Seeing the pain is still in there. People are still doubting things with billions of dollars in total value locked, like Morpho, like Aerodrome. I have plenty of opportunity to stack more of these cryptos before things really get hot and heavy. And then these shows are largely going to be me talking about exit strategies, valuing and seeing how close we are to the Bitcoin top. And the strongest tool utilized in that, in my opinion, is going to be the Pi Cycle Top Indicator. Just for today's show, I do want to check and see where we are on that Pi Cycle Top Indicator. This is going to be our best friend once things are really starting to get hot and heavy on deciding when to get out. So right here, we have plenty of room for opportunity here. These bands, the red and green bands, will constrict at the market peaks. As you can see, it does right here on April 21st of 2020. And this was the actual buying power top for Bitcoin, not the secondary 69,000 move. It was the $64,000 move, because then you got more house per Bitcoin. You got less house per Bitcoin on that secondary pump. It also crossed historically back here in the 2017 timeframe, right there, December 2017, right there, the perfect crossing. So I am watching the Pi Cycle Top Indicator very closely, and I'll be talking very outwardly about my exit strategy once we do see this level constrict. And at large, you guys, everyone, I cannot prescribe to the hardcore Bitcoin 4-year cycle at this point. In essence, we have new things happening. We have nation state FOMO. We have ETFs locking up massive amounts of Bitcoin. And we have new products with the regulatory oversight to actually begin to thrive and flourish with real world assets. And even the ISO narratives are going to have a really fun time now that regulatory clarity in the front of our vehicle here. It's not in the rear view. We see it in front of us. There's pain on all sides. From crypto Twitter, they're saying it's over. It's never going to come. This is the time more than ever to lock in and make sure to secure our financial future. With that being said, I love and appreciate every single one of you for joining me on this fantastic show. I felt like I got a lot of stuff off my chest.
Indeed.
I felt like I addressed a lot of my concerns, but also people in my Discord and the community. I care about everyone in my community very, very much so. And I want to address their questions. And I think tomorrow I'll leave it more open to looking at some other projects. Some new projects have popped up. We want to make sure to kind of rinse them through the value filter to see if there's anything really there. And I hope all of you, as John Boy says, stay based. VZ Fat Cat, Chris, Dramola, Multi-Sig Dummy, Laserface, Multiverse Destroyer, Cali Crypto Dude, Nick Dunn, the homie, Nicole Ministator, Kyle Watson, XR Pete. I love and appreciate you guys. I hope that you guys are locked in and really use your tools that I've told you about to your disposal. Pi Cycle Top Indicator, DeFi Llama, great for checking if there's actually money on the chain. Bubble Maps, if you're buying a rug. There's many, many different decent tools that we can utilize to make sure we're staying strong. Veteran Crypto, you're awesome. New good dad. All right, guys, I'm going to go get ready for another show. But until next time, I bid you goodbye.